Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. We're excited to have Soul Clarity joining us. Yes, our energy healer and life coach, Jennifer Quick, joining us here with Soul Clarity, based out of Pitt Meadows, British Columbia, Canada. She's here to talk more about what she specializes in, from karmic healing, soul journeys, Akashic records, and so much more. Jennifer, welcome to the show today. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, same here. Thank you so much. Please introduce yourself to our listeners to start today.
I'm Jennifer Quick, and I work in the Akashic Records. I help people activate DNA, their soul history, and all things spiritual. I'm actually very much in teaching people how to step into their spirituality and move forward to create lives that they want to be living.
And how can we find you? What is your website and all forms of contact?
Uh, Really, the easiest one is to remember me is Jennifer Quick. JenniferQuick.com will take you to everything about me. There's also soulclarity.ca. I'm on Facebook under Soul Clarity. All, yeah, those are the best places to start.
Perfect. And let's talk a little about, you say, discovering the magnificence of being human. And I love, we're going to talk about all that you do, but it's first good to get to know who you are. I know entrepreneurship, you said, is always in your blood. So tell us a little of your background before we get started.
Okay, entrepreneurship, I say it's always been in my blood because it literally has been since I was a little kid. I grew up on a little hobby farm type thing, and I used to hire my brother to work my hobby sand pile farm. And I actually ended up having quite an industrial farm. And I even went into logging, and I was the boss, and I hired him to work for me. And I would hire the neighborhood kids to work for me with my fake leaf money. So it's
Wow.
always been in my blood since I was little. I love entrepreneurship. I believe it is I believe there's a certain level of spirituality you can reach. But at some point, you have to step into being in sovereignty. And that means you need to be responsible for
Uh,
what you generate in this world financially, which is entrepreneurship. And there's some positions like in sales where there's commission and stuff like that involved. But really, we need to be responsible for ourselves ultimately.
Beautiful. Well, I know we've all overcome obstacles in our past, and I know yourself as well, right? You said you were at a time feeling judged, overcame some challenges. Do you want to share that with us too?
I think you're probably referring to, we've had this conversation, I think, before about when I first stepped out from normal land, I'll say that in quotes, and jumped into the spirituality field. And I would put out my ads, I would put out articles, I would talk to, on Facebook or other social medias about what I was learning and what I was experiencing through some of my clientele, of course, not revealing who they are, but telling their stories. And without fail, I would get phone calls and messages, and even from my spouse at one point, it was really funny,
That's great.
concerned about my life and that I was having these, a hard time. They thought I was divorcing my husband. They thought I was, losing my, whatever it was. And it was like, no, it's what I do for a living. I help people. And these are the things that people are dealing with.
Yeah, and you're raising their vibrations with the work you're doing, right?
Right.
And even their finances. Now, that's what you wanted to focus on for today, right? Tell us a little
Oh,
bit about this. What's happening?
I am so excited. I have actually taken the last couple of months, I've really stepped back and gone within and produced a brand new program. Very, very exciting for where we're moving with the energies. It's all about finances. The way we do money is the way we do everything, which is a quote by Kendall Summerhawk, who is one of my mentors. And it truly is. Money amplifies everything about us. And for far too long, it's been in the wrong places. And it's time to bring it back. Far too many people in spirituality, wellness, coaching, support, counseling are living broke or in lack and limitations. And we should not be. And how we do money is everything. It reveals so much about every aspect of our life. So I've launched a brand new program called Financial Alchemy. And there's a free quiz you can go and take to find out what your archetypes are, as well as a few money matter adjustments for you to get started, which is all free. And then there's an entire program that is forever. It's full of 6 modulars that are dive into your mindset, but then it's also ongoing support. So you can go back to it
Mm.
anytime and keep growing. Because we always hit levels where we got to move up again, right? We heal, we relax, and we do it all again.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's so funny because people always say, money doesn't make you happy. Money doesn't buy happiness. But maybe for those who don't have, like myself, like I feel like it would make me happy. I feel more abundant. I feel less stress, not having a mortgage, not have to worry about, I mean, and so when we talk about finances, right? I mean, people say they dream of being rich. We want to be rich, rich in love, rich with family, I think is most important. But let me ask you about money and how that affects people's psyche and mind. And could you give me your share on finances and how that affects somebody?
Well, okay, so it amplifies. That's all it
Yes.
really does. It's an energy exchange that amplifies whatever you are. So if you're greedy, you're going to be more greedy.
Yep.
But if you're loving and you're giving and you're generous and you're joyful, you're going to present more opportunities to be all of that.
Got it.
So it simply amplifies whatever you already are. Plus, it is a great revealer in that amplification. So if you're not standing in your own sovereignty, if you're not standing with healthy boundaries, if you're emotionally enmeshed with somebody, or you've got blocks in your programming that stop you from being authentically you, money's going to reveal it. It's going to
Mm.
make it stand real strong in your face and go, you got to deal with that. And it'll affect every other area of your life.
All right. Thank you for pointing that out. All right. All right. Thank you so much. What else did you have for us today? There's a lot that you offer. I know the financial alchemy, we're talking about this money mindset program. You can go right to the website, again, soulclarity.ca, and you could take a quiz, right?
Yeah, it's a free quiz and it will reveal to you what your top 3 archetypes are. So everybody does money in a unique way, but there are archetypes which are overviews of particular characteristics. And when you understand your archetypes, you can start operating the way you're meant to. It's also I've done that quiz for free with a couple little exercises to it because it's something I want people to share as well. There is something when so you dive into your archetype and learn all about it through financial alchemy, but also knowing what your partner's archetypes are
Hmm.
can be very helpful. For example, I am both my husband and I are alchemists, which means we transform energy and we create a lot. But he's a maverick and I'm an accumulator.
Yeah.
So I can support his maverick, but only if my accumulator is happy. And if my accumulator is not happy, everything else shuts down and goes into panic. So the minute I satisfy my needs of my accumulator, my alchemist and my nurturing and connect, everything else kicks into gear and we can flourish. And then I can
Beautiful.
support his maverick.
All right. Thank you. What else did you have for us today? This is good stuff. I'm excited. I want to take the quiz.
It's super fun. It's so revealing. It takes like 8 minutes to do it. It's awesome. So yeah, the money reveals it. I meet people where they are. So I do channel into the Galactic Federation. I do channel with different spirits at different levels. I am not a medium where I'm not going to talk to your passed on relative. That's not
Hmm.
what I really go with. I actually talk to people's guides and I look at how your matrix alignment is. Are you aligned with what your dreams actually are? We've been fed this line that we are capable of creating anything, which is absolutely true, except for there we have to take into account the law of relativity. So you can be
Hmm.
anything you want, but the amount of transition you must make between where you are now and where you want to be has to be considered. And the matrix of how you're designed will give me a trail map as to how far that creation is from you, as well as what needs to be adjusted to align with it.
All right.
Yeah. And it also, your matrix will also reveal to you how your soul wants to express its energy here on earth. So this is really where you dive into being magnificent as a human. We
Mhm.
are often born into families that contradict and present. It's not that our families don't love us and want to do the best by us. It's we've chosen them specifically to drive us crazy the most because
Is
that's
that true? I feel like that. Like I just have this thing with my sister, and it's like she's my sister, and I love her, but why are we always like this? And everything I do, she judges, and I try not to, and I don't judge her. I don't, not even try. I don't like. It's just bizarre. And then my brother and I don't get along either, and I'm like, what? But you love them. I
And if
chose
you
this?
think of
You're telling
you
me I chose this?
totally, you totally chose it. They're lovely people, but
Yes.
they are meeting you exactly where you are wanting to be challenged, where they
Interesting.
are revealing to you the obstacles. So you may not feel that you're judging them, but somehow you are in judgment.
Interesting.
And it's not our rights to judge. It's not for us to judge.
Hmm.
So, and that's where you want to step back and be at a point from a compassionate heart. And I like to say it's a Tibetan compassion heart because they,
Okay.
North America, particularly first world, often confuses compassion with controlling. And they kind of get muddled up in their love and their compassion and caring energies. But Tibetan compassion is really where you can observe where somebody is, accept exactly who they are, all their flaws, all their good things, and you can hold the energy vibration that they have everything they need to rise above their current challenges. That's
Mm,
truly compassionate. So you're not rescuing them, they're not trying to do the lesson for them. As soon as you try and rescue or take and do a lesson for somebody, you're robbing them of the experience, and you're basically kicking it down the can, and it will amplify, so it makes it even harder down the road.
interesting.
Right?
Wow.
So, but now that doesn't mean that you can't help somebody. It
Okay.
just means you have to wait to be asked. Because when they ask you, you're now part of their resources and they're still directing in sovereignty of their life.
No, I mean, I'm just fascinated by this concept. Okay. But, Jennifer Quick, by the way, we are halfway through. We should remind everyone how we contact you. Soulclarity.ca. I know that's the website, and you're on social media as well. Facebook, Instagram, your YouTube channel. You're on X. You're everywhere, right?
I am everywhere, but
YouTube,
I'm
you got.
not the best at following up everywhere. Facebook is the best to actually get a hold of me.
Mm-hmm.
And then directly through my website, you can book a free session with me, a 15-minute session. We'll talk about where you are and figure out where you want to go.
I mean, but you do so much as a psychic, as a Akashic record reader, as a coach. How do you know what someone needs? Do we call and you say, Jill, I know what you need. And like, I mean, because there's so many services we could take advantage of with you, like, which is great that you're so multi-talented. But how do you know? Like, how do I know if I needed a Akashic soul alignment or a reading or, yeah, how do you know?
Again, because I step back and I ask you where you are. Where do you want to be? Where are you now? Where
Okay.
do you want to be? And in that moment, we'll figure out where it is. And then I'll go, okay, well, this is actually where you need to be tweaked, or this is where you need to be. Or the majority of the first contact will lead into a soul realignment. And that is such a beautiful in-depth reading where I go and I find out exactly how your soul is designed, what its gifts, talents, as well as what its challenges are, and how you're supposed to express in this life. But I also find out the blocks that you brought into this life, so your karmic history, and we clean up that, and it reveals a lot of past life as well as it can reveal um, this life issues and cleans them up. And so it leaves you in a place where you're only dealing with the lessons that are pertinent to your current experience
Okay.
versus the lessons you've already gone through and solved. You just are holding on to the energy patterns. So it releases all of those. A lot of healing blocks and everything are removed, makes it a clean slate with the direction of knowing who you are and what to do next to step further into your soul energy.
All right. Thank you for this. I'm feeling more clear, more. I just can't believe the whole part I chose my family.
That's some of the hardest things to accept.
Right? I mean, yeah. Wow. Interesting.
I'd
Interesting
like
stuff.
to help people navigate those relationships as well, because I did everything wrong and caused a lot of heartache and pain in my family before I figured out the right ways of addressing transition in relationships. So
Interesting.
I like blew everything up. And you don't have to blow everything up. You just have to transition yourself
All
and
right.
leave room for them to transition. So yeah, I like to try and prevent people from doing the backpedaling cleanup disaster that I had to
Right.
do.
But that's why you have the experience as well. See, we've all, because I would look at you and say, wow, Jennifer has it all together. She's so intuitive. She can. but she had her own share of struggles too. She's just like us, which is good to know she's human. I mean, you
Yes.
have your own set of gifts. We all have our set of gifts, but don't, I might be one to be intimidated to call you. And I'm sure there's people who might say, feel embarrassed, feel ashamed, feel to open up. But I'm sure you've heard everything. And
Oh, and then some. My the one of the I used to think I had a rough time and I had major issues until I started doing this work and hearing what other people were going through. And
oh,
then not only did I understand I wasn't the only one going through it, but there is some really dark, heavy stuff that people are born into
wow.
and trying to come out of. Like you think you've got it tough with your family.
Oh, no.
You
I
do
mean,
for you. They're the lessons for you. But
yeah.
there is some serious darkness that I've had to contend with to help people come out of, to rise out of it.
Mm. Oh, my heart's breaking. I'm thinking about like incest and rape, and I've had that my mom's side of the family who says she was touched by her father, but like those things didn't happen in my life. Things, but like I could only imagine, I just am.
Genetically in you.
I'm
They've
sorry.
been passed that they're genetically in you. You have the genetics in you built into your DNA is your family's history.
Wow.
And so
Wow.
all those memories are stored in you. So even if you have an experience and maybe you haven't had
Uh,
a full incest experience in your lifetime, but it's back in your history, in your family's history, you could have an encounter that is not that deep, but it hits an uncomfortableness and it may just like go ping and boom, you have a reaction to it
well,
like you have been gone through the full experience. And it's because it activated the memory in your DNA.
well, Jennifer, and I'm gonna tear up now because I know I really am. I'm 46. I've never been. I'm not married. Never had kids. I had my first son all by myself with a sperm donor. I'm very hardworking. I could never figure out relationships. And I look at my parents, they had a horrible, horrible relationship. So I know I guess I was scared of a relationship. I couldn't trust, but I feel like I'm over that, but I still can't find someone. So is it like my ancestors? Is this all in my blood and my DNA because my parents went through it? Or is there something wrong with me that I could, how do you break free from that, right? Because it's relationships is my challenge. Was I put on earth here to accomplish that, to fix this, right? To learn to trust, to learn to find and not attract the wrong person or go for the wrong person. Yeah, it's like stuck in me. And that's my biggest problem. Not that you asked, but I felt like it just came to me and I had to tell you because I started tearing
So
up.
the
But yeah.
short answer to your problem is that you have to, so there's two steps to it. One, you have to envision the relationship that you want and identify how you feel in that relationship. Because it doesn't matter what the person looks like, it doesn't matter who they are or anything else. It's all about how you feel in that relationship. And then you take that feeling and you find ways to show up that way in your life. And that's how you change the vibration of who you are, which then will attract in the
Exactly.
match.
Okay. All right.
So there, I
Thank
just gave away the big secret of how to do all of my work.
But you can't do it alone. No way. That's like hard because you're gonna forget, you're gonna make mistakes, and you're gonna just yeah. Because there's only so much that like these post-it notes could do. Like this one says clean the house, organize. Yeah, I have them all over the place. But yeah, you need someone. I don't know if it's possible to do alone. A lot of people are stuck out there, and that's why they come to you.
Yeah.
Do you want to share some of your work, some of the people that you're on this spiritual coaching journey with, or I'll just be quiet. Tell me more what you wanted to talk about.
Oh, I don't know. Wow, there is so much to talk about. I actually kind of want to talk about the energies that are going right now because this is being shot in April. We're doing this is April right now,
Yep.
and April is like, wow, holy camole, is there a ton of energy going on right now? And there's a lot of there's a spiritual battle energy going on right now. In general, we've been into it for a number of years, and it's
Okay.
kind of the basis of Earth, and it's the the love and hate, good and evil battle that Earth is. It's the binary that Earth is, right? But right now, the energies that are hitting the Earth are so huge. We got solar flare maximum going on. We got
Monday, I'm in New York,
super
so we're gonna have this whole solar eclipse thing happening. We're gonna be in the like,
beautiful.
yeah, not in the full path, but close. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And, there's a lot of fear being built up around it, but there is no reason for it to be fearful because there is the solar eclipse, the energies that are hitting us that left on their own, they're part of natural functioning of our earth. All right. The problem goes in the battle. So, because these are such heightened energies, they're going to amplify where you are on your path. Really important on the 8th to be aware of what you want to manifest. What life do you want to be living? And that's what you want to amplify that day. And it's going to have an echo effect for your future. It's like a forward echo. So really be aware of how you feel that day because emotion is energy in motion. So it's all about your vibration and it creates the vibration and whatever vibration you're holding that day. So turn off the news, listen
Mm-hmm.
to happy, positive people. Podcasts are better than videos. So there we go. Because
Well, we're a
podcasts,
podcast video today.
you are, yeah, which is really good. You're not a mainstream news.
Got it. True.
Okay, you're not
Yes.
a doom and gloom. You're
Yes.
you're shining spotlight on movers and shakers and doers, which is a really positive thing. And so you want to look for that input. You want to be aware of the music you're listening to. It's not whether it's heavy metal or whether it's classical or pop. It's about how controlled and vibrationally is it. There's actually radio stations that are tuned to 432 hertz, which is the vibration of harmony for the human body.
Wow.
Most music is not. All right. So they actually they've retuned music, rock music, a lot of 80s, 90s rock music, 70s, I love it. Tuned to 432, which is actually harmonizing your body. So you can still have the party and still be in that celebration and uplifted mode. Just be aware of what the vibrations are that you're welcoming into your life.
Hmm.
Right? It's not a day for addressing conflicts. It's a day for welcoming in love and joy and celebration.
Hmm. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, we still got 3 minutes left here. So what else did you want to make sure we cover? Soul clarity. Yeah.
Free quiz. You can book
Yep.
a discovery session with me if you like to find out where you're at. There's other freebies on my website. I have actually there's a home blessing. You mentioned that you're something about cleaning with your home. I have a home blessing where you welcome the angels in to clean out your home. So that's on
Oh,
my website as well. So
if I do heavy lifting, I have all these bins like from Christmas I still have to put in the attic and I don't have time for it.
yes, well again,
I know.
they clean all that energy that's making you not have the time.
Exactly. And the excuses.
It's
Hmm.
really funny. Our houses, especially the more spiritually aware you are of your energies, the more our houses are in a direct response to it. So if your root or your sacral chakra is not balanced, it will show up in your household. That'll be when no matter how many times you clean your house, you can't get it clean.
Guilt
Because
that's been my story for so
you
many
need to clean out
years.
the root chakra. You need to balance your root chakra. You need to ground yourself to the earth energies, and within 24 hours, you'll have a clean house.
Wow. No one's ever told me that. I just thought I was organizationally challenged,
No,
OCD, ADHD, this and that. And then I'm like, well, I live alone with two kids. I'm running around, get them on the bus, then I go to work. Then they come home. Then I'm done with work. Wait, oh, and then I had to go to sports and do that. And I didn't really have the time. And then I'm like, but how come my other friends, I mean, they have husbands, most of them or whatever, but their house doesn't look like mine. Downstairs it looks nice so people don't see it, but upstairs is a disaster zone. And the mental duress that puts me in, it's
yeah.
not good.
And another part of that is that you're a heart high energy person. So your energy resides in the upper chakras for the majority part. That's your dominant. That's why you're so creative and you're so abstract and you're illuminating so much. The lower chakras are much more structural and intimate relationships in your home front. And people who are high energy, high vibration have a hard time being in the human form because our earth has been so out of balance between that love and darkness aspect. So when you connect with the earth and you
Hmm.
get comfortable in your body, that's when there becomes an organization within your home and your life.
Oh, thank you for that. Thanks. All right, I got to work on this root chakra stuff, and we'll talk more about that next time. Unfortunately, we must go. Jennifer Quick, excited to have you here again and to talk more about all your services. My goodness, guys and gals, if you're listening, reach out to her. Don't forget to take the quiz. That was like the first and foremost point of this conversation today about her financial alchemy quiz. Is that what we call it?
Yes, Financial Alchemy. It's Sacred Money Archetypes quiz, and it's under the Financial Alchemy program. And just a heads up, we are heading into some fantastic financial years. So if you're on the positive track of finances, it's time to get aligned with them because they are just going to be high energy moving forward.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Looking forward to speaking with you again. I appreciate your time today, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I love this. This was very good.
Same here. Thank you. Wow. Have a great day. By the way, to reach out, go to the website and can I call you? What's the number?
JenniferQuick.com and you'll find everything. Just remember my name.
It's very easy. You got a catchy name. Is it real?
Jennifer Quick. That's my real name.
It is? Okay, cool. Wow.
I'm
All right,
hearing it.
cool. All right. Thank you. Very cool. All right. Have a great day. We'll be right back after this quick break. Pun intended. Bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.